What's up, y'all? We are here for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 14 reunion part 1. So look, it's kind of late. Y'all know I was on my other live a little late, and so I watched this, and I wasn't going to come live. But I do have a few things to say, and you guys know we will be having the Whether You Like It or Not panel tomorrow evening for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So listen. So here's what I don't know, because we know that editing is a mother. What I do not know is, was it really this bad, or were they editing it to justify why Garcelle walked away? I'm going to tell you that I could tell at the exact moment when Garcelle was over it. We're going to get to it, but I can tell you the exact moment when Garcelle was over it. Sorry, y'all, I didn't start watching it until late. So look, let me just start real quick with the fashions. We already kind of went through each outfit, but I will say that up close, Garcelle looked better than I thought she looked. Garcelle looked good. Her makeup, everything about what Garcelle had going on, I was here for. I loved it. Up close, on the couch, everything was spot on. I loved Sutton's look. I liked her look in the picture, but I loved her look even more at the actual reunion. I loved Dorit's hair. Her dress was still whatever, it was still whatever, but I definitely loved her. I loved that Jessica, that the crimping, whatever they call it, shit. I don't know, but I did like it. I think I liked Kyle's dress. I think I liked Kyle's dress less. Seeing it up close, I did not like that mesh. I don't know what I thought that material was, but it's almost like a fishnet mesh. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I damn sure I didn't like the ponytail. I didn't like it. I still liked Boz. Outfit. I ain't like Boz on this episode, but and Erica, when I tell y'all I'm sick of Erica's ass, I'm so sick of Erica. When they all came out there and Kyle wouldn't speak to Garcelle, I said, okay. Now, honestly, I didn't know why Kyle was mad at Garcelle, but as we went through the episode, I'm like, oh, this is why Kyle is mad at Garcelle. But she didn't even speak to Garcelle. Like, she spoke to everybody as a group, but when Garcelle told her she looked nice, she repeated. She was like, oh, everybody looks so beautiful. And Garcelle was like, thank you. She was like, Kyle, I love your hair. Oh, everybody looks so beautiful. So I knew then, and so did Garcelle. And Garcelle told Sutton, she won't even speak to me. So let me get into my notes. So we started off with, he had to go around the room, whatever. But we really get into the meat and potatoes. They started off with Dorit. Can I tell y'all, I don't believe, listen, when it comes to Dorit and this divorce, I don't believe shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was ironic that Garcelle was like, wow, maybe we can get a cast photo this year. Because for the last 2 years, they haven't had one. Because last year, Sutton and Garcelle left because Sutton had the panic attack, air quote. And then the season before that was when Kyle had that whole breakdown and she didn't take the picture. And I found it funny that Garcelle was the one that said, oh, maybe we can get a cast picture this year. And she's the reason why they don't have one. I thought that was funny. But okay. Ironic, funny, So Dorit, so they get to talking about, well, first they talk about Dorit. Dorit and Kyle sort of get into it. And Andy was like, well, we're going to talk about that later, but they kind of get into it now, where they get into the whole text message and of it all. Now, Kyle, listen. Dorit said that nobody from the group reached out to her when they released a statement that they were separating. First of all, Dorit, Sutton didn't reach out to you because you and Sutton wasn't fucking with each other. Garcelle didn't reach out to you because you and Garcelle wasn't with each other. Kyle didn't reach out to you because Kyle said y'all weren't even speaking at the time. So again, y'all always want to talk about people being fake, people being fake, people being fake. Well, people that you're not speaking to, wouldn't that come off a little fake? Like if I announced that I was going through a divorce and somebody that I'm not speaking to or that I don't normally talk to about my business is in my business, I would be side-eyeing them. I'm being honest. I'd be side-eyeing them like, why they texting me now? I don't normally talk to them. Oh, they just reaching out now because they trying to get the tea. Like, I would not take it as genuine. I get it. Other people might feel differently. Like, well, damn, they didn't even reach out to say, they didn't even reach out to check on me. But I don't understand why you expect people who you normally don't fuck with to reach out to you. And if somebody did that to me, I would side-eye it. But neither here nor there. So, but Kyle, I will say this. Kyle be cracking me up when she be getting mad about shit that she actually did do. So she said she was mad about Sutton bringing up the fact that she texted PK before she texted her. And Kyle was like, roll the tape. I did text you. Roll the tape. And when they rolled the tape, it proved that you didn't text her. In the tape, you said, well, I wrote out the text last night, but I didn't send it. I'll send it today. Girl, that's like, and I'll use this as an example. We were talking about this the other day, writing checks. That's like me writing a check, but never putting it in the mail. I never paid you. If I wrote out a check, but I never mailed that check, guess what? You didn't get your money. So you saying, I did write a text. I just didn't send it. I'll send it today. Then her point is valid. You didn't text her. That's like thoughts and prayers. Like, I can't. What am I do with that? The thoughts and concepts. What am I do with a thought and a concept? So, Kyle, girl, you was getting all excitable about nothing. So then they're talking about the divorce. Y'all, can I tell y'all, especially after the way this season played out, I don't believe nothing that's coming out of Dorit's mouth as it relates to this divorce. I don't believe shit. Second of all, after PK's statement that he wrote, I definitely don't believe nothing because PK said everything in that statement. Now I'm gonna read y'all PK's statement. So they asked PK to be on the show. Baby, PK declined. And PK said that he didn't feel like having a conversation with Dorit in this environment would be conducive. He didn't think, I'm sorry, it wouldn't be productive. I'm sorry. He didn't say conducive. He said that talking to her on the reunion stage, because he know what it gives. He's been to reunions. He know what it is. And he also knows that Dorit gets very performative when that camera is running. So he was like, yeah, that's not going to be productive. But what I am going to do, I am going to write you this good statement and let it all out. Now, one thing I thought was interesting was when they were bringing up PK's alcoholism. And did y'all see? I need to hear if y'all be catching what I'm catching. Because did y'all catch when Kyle said, well, Dorit, you would have won. No, she said something about Dorit talking about his alcoholism. And Dorit was like, he said it. He talked about it. And Kyle was like, no, he didn't say he was an alcoholic. What he said was he stopped drinking. Now, I need y'all to connect that dot. Thank you, y'all. I got it, boo. But thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Y'all be getting, but see, y'all watch the Whether You Like It or Not panel, and y'all be thinking that we really be fighting and we really, child, y'all just don't understand how much we have each other's back. Anyway, ain't that the same thing Kyle said? Kyle never told us she was an alcoholic, but she just said she stopped drinking. Now, I told y'all then. See, y'all can go back and watch it. I told y'all then that people don't just make that big of a deal about not drinking anymore unless there's a reason why they stop drinking. Now, don't get me wrong. For example, I don't drink like I used to because I'm older. You know, it just isn't what it is. I'm more of a social drinker these days. If somebody come over my house, I'll be like, you want a drink? And if I pour them a drink, I'll pour myself a drink. Certainly when I'm out, you know, happy hour, whatever. But honestly, if y'all bring a bottle in my house, it's gonna sit on that bar to probably the next time y'all come back and we have another drink. I just don't drink like I used to. But it ain't because I can't. Child, ain't nobody mad at Busy. We've been texting all day. Quake, that's what I'm saying. We've been in the group chat texting all day long. The group chat has been blowing up all day long. That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody mad at Busy. We sat backstage messing with Busy yesterday after the show. Child, ain't nobody mad with Busy. Busy likes to be different. He swear he does it. He swear he does it. But Busy loves to take the opposite. He loves that. He loves it. He swear he don't. I really be feeling that way. Anyway, back to this, because I can't be here long. It's late. I love Busy. And Busy's a good time in real life. Like, he really is a sweetheart. He's really, truly a sweetheart in real life. I told y'all I spent election night with Busy, and we cried together, okay? We cried together. Anyway, don't do me, Chuck. Don't be telling my business, Chuck. I was on Whiskey Road, Chuck. I had to have an old-fashioned. See what I'm saying? People be telling your business. Anyway, so I caught that. And I did not tell y'all during the season. See, y'all don't be listening to Really Be. Y'all don't be listening to me. Didn't I tell y'all during the season that I feel like Kyle and PK's relationship is built more on they have something in common as it relates to the drinking? I told y'all that. I know I did. I know I said it. I told y'all that. And now I feel like Kyle sort of confirmed that without confirming it. Kyle confirmed something else without confirming it too, but we'll get there when we get there. Now, PK, let me read y'all what PK's statement was, and we're going to break it down as we go through it, okay? We're going to break it down as we go through, okay? Because y'all know, okay. So let me read it to y'all. I wish I could do a British accent, but I can't, and I would just fuck it up. So let me just read through this. I was invited to be a part of the reunion, but declined because I don't believe engaging with Dorit in this forum would be constructive. Dorit has made several mischaracterizations about me, but the one I must address is the claim that I am a bad father. I think that's a lot. I think that's important. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's important because she said a lot of shit about him. She said a lot of shit about him. But the one thing he wanted to get very straight is that he's a good father, okay? That statement is both heartbreaking and false. It's deeply hurtful to me, and more importantly, to our children who, despite Dorit's assertion, will inevitably see and hear all of this at a time not of our choosing. In other words, contrary to what you might think, our children either already are or will be on social media, and they will find what you have said about me, whether they watch the show now, later, 2 years later, 10 years later. And they're going to hear what you said about me. Those closest to us know the truth. Many have wanted to speak out, but I have asked them not to because the truth should never need a champion. Bitch, I love that line. The truth should never need a champion. He said, listen, my friends have wanted to come down here and get you together, Dorit. They wanted to go to the blogs and the social medias of it all, the Twitters and the Blue Skies and the Instagrams, and they've been wanting to blast your ass. But I told them, stand down. Stand down. I refused to stoke a fire I did not ignite. The Dorit I married would never have allowed this, much less caused it. The woman embodied kindness, integrity, that woman embodied kindness, integrity, and grace. I can only hope this version of Dorit finds her way back to the person she once was. PK. I feel like PK said everything. He said everything. Got Dorit all the way together. All the way together. And you know what I find interesting? Dorit didn't have nothing to say. She didn't have any rebuttal to that. She didn't have any rebuttal to that. That's when her and Kyle started getting into it again about her mentioning his alcoholism and yada, yada, yada. But she still claims that PK ain't seeing the kids because Andy asked, you know, how often does he see the kids? And she said he sees them on Saturday nights when he's in town. Again, I don't know what's really going on behind closed doors because I'm not going to sit here and say that I think that PK is a saint because I don't think PK is a saint. I think PK gives as good as he gets as it relates to him and Dorit. Now, they did bring up the conversation with Dorit insinuated that PK was a monster and maybe even borderline abusive. She didn't come out and say those words, but she certainly led you down the path. She certainly led you down the path, but she didn't say those words. And Kyle was like, well, I think she might be just exaggerating because, you know, whatever. And Kyle's, you know, and they brought up that and they said a lot of the comments were saying that Kyle was downplaying, you know, Dorit's experience, especially if it's sort of like a borderline abusive thing. And Kyle said, well, I just thought she was exaggerating because I knew she was exaggerating about shit with me. Now, Kyle, I got to pop your hand a little bit on this one because, again, and I said this earlier in the season, Kyle, you can't have it both ways. You can't say earlier in the season because you were mad at Dorit, we hardly ever hung out. We hardly spent time together. I wouldn't say she was one of my best friends. But then tonight at the reunion, you're going to say, well, I know Dorit. I mean, we were really close. You know, I know her really, really well. And I just know that I've never seen that side of Dorit until now. I mean, she was very angry. She was very aggressive. Like, I've never seen that side. And I know her so well. And I'm like, but girl, 3 months ago, you barely knew her. 3 months ago, y'all only hung out once or twice outside of the cameras. That's what you said 3 months ago. Now it's how well you know her. You've never seen that side of her because you were such good friends with her. Girl, you can't have it both ways now. Which one you want us to believe, Kyle? Which version of this story do you want us to believe, girl? Okay. Aggressive, PK. He would discuss sobriety. Okay, let's get into this pre-foreclosure. Can I tell y'all something? There's no such thing as pre-foreclosure. You know what pre-foreclosure is? When you're late. There's no bucket at the bank called pre-foreclosure. You are either late, you either on time, late, or in foreclosure. Now, you don't go into foreclosure until you're at a certain point, yada, yada, yada. They have to go through certain things. Like, it's not as easy to foreclose on a home as it used to be because Obama put a lot of things in place after, you know, the housing market collapsed, you know, whatever. However, there's no such term as pre-foreclosure. And she's right. The blogs were saying it's in pre-foreclosure. Child, hey, Citizen Jane, where you been, girl? I hope you're okay. Hope you've been well, my love. Baby, listen, either you are on time, you are late, or it's in foreclosure. That's like my car's in pre-repo. What the fuck is a pre-repo? Either you paid your car note or you did not. So all that pre-foreclosure is bullshit. And then she said, well, PK said, now mind you, Sutton just got finished. See, this is shit I be hating. And Yarrell says this 5 million times. He has said it. Oh, okay. I'm so glad to hear that, my love, because I knew I hadn't seen you. And let me say this. So, y'all gonna stop. I know that people ain't feeling Sutton. I get it, whatever. But it's one thing for sure and two things for certain. When Sutton starts telling you how you should move when it comes to a divorce, then that's how you should fucking move when it comes to a divorce. I'm not understanding why you're not understanding why Sutton can tell you how to maneuver these things, okay? And when Sutton said that she's worried about you, and then you want to say, how could you be worried about somebody you don't care about? Bitch, she don't care about you. But you know what she does care about? She cares about you and your kids being able to walk away from this marriage and be able to pay y'all freaking bills. Girl, she done already told all of y'all, every single one of y'all, she done said, I'll help you, I'll be there for you, I'll get you. She told Denise Richards, baby, I'll give you the name to my forensic account. So we can say a lot of things about Sutton, but when it comes, Sutton is not stingy when it comes to sharing information that's going to help the next woman. She's not stingy with that. Now, Sutton, like I said, we can say a lot of things about Sutton. We can. But when it comes to that, she's not. And it pisses me off when y'all take one thing, like Dorit harps on shit so bad. So she was like, listen, all I'm saying is, like, when I got divorced, I found out I own 2 baseball teams. And like Andy said, well, those are good problems to have. Yeah, they're good problems. But the point is, I did not know. She was like, Dorit, do you even know whose name is on that mortgage? Do you think I'm going to talk to you about my... She was just trying to make a point, Dorit. So Dorit's explanation about this free foreclosure bullshit was the rates changed and PK said he wasn't paying the bill until, he wasn't paying the mortgage until the bank called him. Girl, that's not how that shit works. That is not how any of this works. Do you know? I got an email last week from my mortgage company. I got an email last week telling me this happened, and now your mortgage is this. It was a good thing my mortgage went down, but still, I was like, okay. I even called and was like, is this legit? Did this come from y'all? Because that's not how, they don't owe you an explanation if your property value goes up or your property value goes down or whatever. Matter of fact, since I have owned my home, my mortgage has been sold to 3 different companies. I have had literally 3 different mortgage companies. They don't owe you that. They don't owe you that. So for you to be like, he said that the rates changed and he wasn't going to pay it until somebody called him. She said, and then that's when Boz was like, oh, well, that's how you lose a house. She said, well, they called. I bet the fuck they did. You know what that's called? Collections. I bet somebody did call you after not paying your fucking mortgage for 4 months. I'm positive they called. Girl, you said that. You said that like it was a flex. Well, they called and he paid it. I bet the fuck they did. They called and told him, sir, if we don't get a mortgage payment in the next XYZ days, we're going to start foreclosure proceedings on this property. Yeah, that was the phone call he got. She said that shit like it was a flex. Well, they called and he paid it. I bet he did. I bet they would. Baby, let me tell you something, Chuck. When I bought my house, my mortgage was sold before my first mortgage payment was due. When I tell you I got paperwork probably 3 weeks after I bought my house from saying this is the new people that own your mortgage. I said, damn, I ain't even paid my first mortgage payment. And they had already sold my damn mortgage. Child. Anyway, so I said, Dorit, you really said that like that was a flex. Girl, it wasn't. It wasn't. So then we got into Boz. Before I lay into Boz, let me say this. I'm very, very, very sorry about Boz and her home. And she brought up a good point. She said, she lost her Malibu home. Now, I do believe that was her second house. I do not know that to be a fact, but I do believe Boz has more than one home because he said you lost your home in Malibu, which made me think, which I thought that and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that makes it okay, but I do believe she had anyway. But she brought up a good point. She said, after all of the cameras are gone and the fanfare and all the hoopla, she said all that's left is the ashes. You trying to clear off the land, you trying to get the debris. Yeah, she lost him in the fires. You're trying to get the debris. You're fighting with, insurance companies trying to decide if you're going to rebuild or not. She said it's been a lot. It's been very overwhelming and it's been a lot. And so I'm so sorry. I cannot imagine. It doesn't matter whether it was her second home or her primary home. It was so much on it's lost. It's just lost. And she, just like Garcelle, she bought it, she built it. She's happy they've had that house for 12 years, she said. So that was a lot. And so I definitely feel bad for her. Okay, she has 2 homes. It's the beach house. Thank you, Danny. That's what I thought. I thought so. Quake, that's a good point. She said it's almost like they decided they could only have one black girl on the show, right? Yeah. So they talked about the relationship. She said the man told her he loved her and that they still together, child, and that she's starting the process of retrieving her eggs. She said she did feel some kind of way about everybody having an opinion about her deciding to have a child and, putting her life on the line. She said, for 16 years, it was something that I just wouldn't say out loud because I felt some kind of way. She said that did make her feel some kind of way, but she said everybody's had an opinion about her relationship and they talked about the red flags of it all or whatever. So this is when we first start seeing things coming at Garcelle. Actually, I think they kind of came for Garcelle a little bit before with Dorit. I think Dorit, child, because but this is where Boz comes at Garcelle, when she was saying, and she said she did watch the show, which so that again, the fact that we now know that she did watch the show confirms for me that she intentionally befriended Dorit. Remember we said that about her intentionally befriending Dorit? So now it confirms to me that she intentionally befriended Dorit. Then she said she went out to lunch with Garcelle to try to get the scoop, and Garcelle wouldn't tell her anything. And she said, I respected that because Garcelle said, listen, I want you to get to know the ladies for yourself. I don't want to put anything in your head. I don't want to give you any of the tea because I want you to build your own relationship. She said, so it kind of made me feel some kind of way when she had a problem with me being friends with Dorit. Now, what I find interesting is that everybody said the same thing, yet she seemed to zero in on Sutton and Garcelle. Because everybody said the same thing about her and Dorit and how Dorit was up her ass. Everybody said it. They showed clips of Kyle saying it. Well, everybody except for Erica. But they showed clips of Kyle. They showed clips of Sutton. They showed clips of Garcelle. But for some reason, it was Garcelle that got all the heat. And even to the point where in one of the after shows, Sutton and Boz were on the after show and they were like, well, maybe there's just some jealousy there. Maybe they're jealous. Garcelle was like, and what I love, Garcelle was like, I mean, if that's how you feel, I mean, okay then. I mean, it was almost like at a certain point, and that's why I know a lot of shit was edited out, because at a certain point, Garcelle just didn't have any fight in her. And Garcelle said, listen, honestly, I didn't really give a damn about you and you and Dorit's relationship until it seemed like we were being excluded from stuff. Like y'all would be having y'all own private conversations, excluding the rest of the group. She said, look, me and Sutton, people came at me and Sutton's friendship from the door. So I get it. And so then, Andy was like, well, then why would you come for theirs if you know what it felt like on the other end? I saw Andy's point on that. If I'm being honest, y'all, I saw his point because everything that they said about Dorit and Boz is what people said about Garcelle and Sutton. So I kind of understood. And then this is when I think Garcelle was over it. right before they were getting ready to go to, let me go to my notes and make sure. Lord, them Real Housewives of Atlanta notes, share wrong notes. This is where, in my opinion, where I think Garcelle was like, fuck it. I don't think this is when she decided to quit, but I definitely think this is when she was like, fuck it. When right before they would get ready to go to commercial, Boz said, and if I'm honest, if you think that there's anything she can say about me to make me not like you, then I think that says more about you and not me. Baby, the look on Garcelle's face when she said that, Garcelle was pissed. Like, you could have scrambled an egg on Garcelle's head at that point. She was hot. Like, I saw that pissed her off. Like, that did it. It was almost like she was like, all right. And I felt like from that point forward, she was on some she was on like some, like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And again, because when Boz said it, she said it to Garcelle and Sutton. She said it to Garcelle and Sutton, probably more towards Garcelle than Sutton, but that's who she was looking at, and that's who she was talking about, right? So then we get to Garcelle's package, right? Thank you, Peace. What's up, boo? So Boz watched before and sided with Dorit. Right. And that's why I think it was calculated. She went to one, I think she befriended the person who she thought was going to have the best season. And two, I think she befriended the person who she thought, for lack of a better word, that she could manipulate. Very calculated. I agree. Thank you for the super chat, my love. So then we had Garcelle's package. We saw the beach house and all of that. And then that's when they got into the Kyle of it all, right? So this is where Garcelle and Kyle get into it, right? So Kyle was like, I don't understand why you feel like I have to be Sutton's champion. And what Garcelle was saying is, I didn't say you had to be. I said that is what. No, before that. Hold on, because I got to get to before that. So they're talking about they're talking about Garcelle being more interesting, right? And Garcelle was like, girl, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I'm giving you what I got. Like, she said, I work, I spend time with my kids, I come home. Like, I don't know. And they're like, well, you're not dating. We want to know who you dating, girl. And Garcelle was like, girl, I'm not dating nobody. And they were like, nobody? Like, you ain't getting none? Like, who you getting it from? I was like, damn, what? Now, then that's when Erica said some shit. And this is the mean girl Erica. And this is the Erica, because see, Erica, your ass was on the end of the couch for a reason. You know why your ass was on the end of the couch, Erica? Because you ain't give a shit. Girl, you decorated your pool house for 6 episodes. A house that you renting. And you had the nerve to throw shade at Garcelle for building. Because let's not forget, the house that Garcelle, her main house, she built herself. Remember the first season she was on the show, she was building that house and she moved into that house at the end of the season or towards the end of the season. So that's the first house that she bought and built from scratch herself. The second one was the beach house. So for somebody that's renting somebody's motherfucking pool house, I don't understand why you got smoke. But for you to say, we just want you to be more interesting, bitch. And like Garcelle said, she said, girl, I don't know what you want me to tell you. She was like, my divorce, because they said somebody said something about divorce. She said, baby, my divorce was before I even came on the show. And it was juicy. I just wasn't on the show when it happened. But I've been very open. I didn't tell the story. Because we remember, if you old enough, you remember when Garcelle went through her divorce, and baby, she sent a fax. That's how long ago it was, because she sent a fax. Baby, she sent a fax to his whole company about him cheating on her and the infidelity that she found out. Baby, she sent a fax. I remember that shit. So Erica, fuck you. That was some nasty ass shit you said. And it was some, y'all had the nerve to say that Sutton and Garcelle are mean girls. No, that was some mean girl shit that you said to her, Erica. Like, you can be honest without being rude to people. Now here is where Garcelle, see, y'all be thinking that Garcelle is messy for no reason, and that production just be in her ear saying shit, and she just be saying stuff out of nowhere. But now we understand why Garcelle came at Kyle about the Morgan situation. Now I'm going to cut through all the other bullshit. They went back and forth about Kyle not sharing her life. And Kyle was like, I've given you everything. What more do you want from me? I've given it all to you. But baby, come to find out, Kyle had an off-camera conversation with Sutton and Garcelle. And what it sounds like, now y'all tell me in the chat what y'all think. If y'all, you still there, drop down. Hey, Nate, what's up, boo? What it sounded like to me was that off-camera, Kyle admitted to the relationship with Morgan, but told them that Morgan didn't want it to be discussed on camera. And she was asking them not to bring it up. Now, did y'all hear what I hear? Did y'all hear what I heard, or am I putting 20 on 10? Y'all can tell me if I'm putting 20 on 10, but that's what I heard. And I feel like Garcelle's ass was like, girl, stop playing coy and stop lying to these people and go on and put it out there. Because Erica's because Garcelle even said, girl, you gave us a whole storyline last season, and now we can't even say that girl name. And then that's when you see her and Sutton, because she says, Sutton, what did you say? And Sutton was like, I just think that Kyle wanted to protect Morgan. Baby, Garcelle said, that ain't what you said. And she looked at Sutton and she said, you said that was a chess move. Baby, Sutton was like, fuck. She was like, fuck. So Garcelle wasn't bringing that shit up out of nowhere. They know. And let's be clear, if Sutton and Garcelle know, then motherfucking Dorit and Erica know. Please know. If Sutton and Garcelle know, we already know that Sutton and Garcelle are the black ducks, the black of this group. We already know that they the odd man out. So if they fucking know, trust everybody on that fucking cast knows. Including Mauricio. So now, once again, Garcelle looks like the bad guy, because now, to be fair, Garcelle, it was said off camera. And she asked y'all not to bring it up. To be fair, Garcelle, you were asked not to bring it up. Now, I don't know why Garcelle decided to put it out there. I honestly don't know why she decided to tell it, but whatever reason was, she did decide to tell it. Now, I do have to give you a side eye on that one, Garcelle, because if Kyle asked you not to bring it up on camera, However, comma, it sounds like Kyle did admit to the ladies behind closed doors what's really going on between her and Morgan. But neither here nor there. Kyle not her friend. I ain't say she was her friend now. I ain't say she was her friend. But then the whole thing when Garcelle was like, be who you are. If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. And then she was like, that was a shitty thing to say. And you embarrassed me. And da-da-da-da-da. Girl, look, listen. Kyle, come here. Come here. Kyle, come here. Girl, we all know. You ain't gotta hold it back. We know. Girl, we know. Kyle, we know. You ain't got to say, girl. Then they bring up Dorit in this damn robbery. Listen. Once again, y'all left Garcelle out there because when Garcelle said, so am I the only person that felt that way? Y'all know good and damn well Garcelle ain't the only person that felt that way because we could go back to that season and all them motherfuckers questioned it, including Sutton. And once again, Sutton, you left Garcelle hanging because you ain't say shit either. Dorit, don't nobody believe your ass was robbed, especially not when you showed up with the jewelry that you claim was robbed, taken from your house. And that's another thing. Garcelle clocked that shit. Y'all remember that last season? Last season, Garcelle clocked that shit. Garcelle was like, I thought you said they stole all your jewelry. How you say you had that jewelry for 5 years? If then you say they stole. I thought you had said that all your jewelry was gone. How you get that? So when Garcelle said, I'm entitled to my opinion, you are, because let me tell you something. Garcelle has never said the robbery was fake. Garcelle has always said she thinks the robbery was fake and she got questions. That's what she said. So then here come Boz jumping in, talking about that's serious. That's serious. That's criminal. Now, allegedly, Boz said that she would have sued Garcelle for defamation. Now, we didn't see that on this episode, so I don't know if she ended up saying that later or if it was edited out or if it was never said. However, she still inserted herself and came at Garcelle and was like, and again, we know it was edited. We could tell that was edited, but she definitely jumped in and was like, that was serious. How dare you say that? Why would you say that? That's a serious thing to be saying. Girl, the robbers left her cell phone. Baby, they left that cell phone. That's the part I can't get over. That might not seem like a big deal to y'all, but to me, that's the part right there. Because I ain't never seen a robber that let you keep your cell phone and then say, okay, don't call. Wait, count to 20. I mean, I've seen that shit in movies, but I ain't never seen that in no real life. I mean, I ain't seen that shit in movies. That sound like a movie thing. That's a movie plot. Who the fuck gonna let you keep your... First of all, they don't let you keep your cell phone because I'm sure she had the latest iPhone with, whatever. They sell that shit. Ma'am, they are robbing you. They are not leaving you with anything of value. Your cell phone is of value. Fuck the fact that you could call the police. Baby, I can sell it. I can sell this. I can add this to the pot. Right, and then we're not gonna forget about the $10,000 that was stolen out of her purse. Who the fuck does that? First of all, I can't say this for certain, okay? Because I'm not rich, all right? I cannot say this for certain. But what I can say is, from my understanding, from my observations, baby, rich people don't be carrying money like that. Now, I know that people saw Teresa Giudice do that shit down to the Real Housewives of New Jersey. She also went to jail, okay? So we can't use Teresa. I don't want nobody saying, well, Teresa had all that cash. She also went to jail. So let's not use Teresa as our measuring stick. Ma'am, who the fuck is walking around with just $10,000 loose in their purse? You just had it in your purse. Was it in your wallet? Was it $100 bills? Who does that? Now, don't get me wrong. I've gone to the ATM and picked out, I've moved around with large amounts of money before. But generally, when I'm moving around with that kind of money, it's to go from A to B. If I'm moving money from one bank to another bank, or somebody gave me that money for whatever reason, maybe they owed it to me, maybe whatever the situation, maybe I don't know. But I'll normally just be going from store to store. If I do have that large of amount of cash, I know what I'm getting. I'm going straight to the Best Buy because I'm buying a TV. Or I'm going straight to the furniture store because I'm making a large purchase. And maybe I went to the credit union and I took the cash out because I don't have a checkbook for my credit account. There might be a reason why I'm moving with that kind of money, but it is to go from point A to point B. I am not lollygagging and just casually shopping down to the motherfucking Target. Like, that's just not how I'm doing it. She said she forgot to get a gift for her nanny and she was Christmas shopping. What the fuck was you buying your nanny for $10,000, Dorit? And it was $10,000 even. You ain't stop and get a latte at the Starbucks on your way into the Target. You ain't stop on the way and fill up your tank. You ain't get you a pack of cigarettes. Like, ma'am, it was just $10,000, just even, just $10,000. Again, I don't know most people that move like that these days. Now, if this had been 10, 15 years ago, okay, who the fuck is walking around with that kind of money now? Hell, you can move $10,000 in your Cash App. Like, who is doing that? So, do her and PK not bleep? Child, I guess not. They usually get cash for a reason. Right. People use it again. I know people who keep cash. They have a safe in their home where they keep cash in case, God forbid something happened, the banks go down, emergency, whatever the situation is. But again, if you generally people who move around with, and let me tell you something, when I've moved around large amounts of money like that before. Baby, when I tell you I be nervous as fuck and I be trying to hurry up and get to wherever I'm going with that money in my hand, baby. And like I said, point A, point B. Point A, point B. I don't know. I was just saying you can move that kind of money through Cash App is what I'm saying. I'm saying there's just no reason to walk around with that kind of cash. I don't even know whether Cash App got a customer service or not. I don't know nothing. I use Cash App, but I don't know about it on that level because I ain't never had that kind of money in my Cash App, child. I done had a couple of $100 in there, but I ain't never had $10,000 in my Cash App. But I'm just using the point that there are so many other ways to move money around these days that you don't need to cash. And again, if you do go get cash, that's fine. But most people don't just walk around with cash like that to just casually be out shopping. Most people. And again, there are exceptions to every rule, but this is just my thought process. Right. Drug dealers, gamblers. Yeah, Moving right along. So that was pretty much the episode. If I missed something, I'll come back to it later. I'll pick it up next week. But I think I pretty much got the most of it. And then we saw them. They were going to lunch. And Garcelle, and see, y'all can see this is how they be getting us. Because that's when Garcelle said they can all go to hell when she was walking off for lunch. Not when they showed her walking off the reunion. See how they give us that? See how they gave us that voice? See how they gave us that voice? And they made us think that she said that. And she might have said it again, but she definitely said it that first time. when she walked off when they were going to lunch. And then Sutton gonna come in there talking about something. So how you feeling? Girl, you know how she feeling because you left her ass high and dry on that stage 3, 4, 5 times. And then that's when we saw Boz talking to Sutton, talking about something. That's serious. I mean, that's criminal. That's a serious thing that she's accusing him of. That's very serious. Boz, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere. Because if you was on that season, you'd have been saying the same damn thing. That shit was suspicious as fuck. And I ain't saying that it wasn't true. I ain't saying that they ain't really get robbed. I'm just saying it's suspicious as fuck. And I feel like Garcelle, she has every right to her opinion. If she feel like it's suspicious, she feels it's suspicious. She ain't say that you did it on purpose. She didn't say that you set it up. She just said it was suspicious as fuck. Anyway, that's what it is. Don't forget, we'll be back on Yarrell's channel tomorrow for the whether you like it or not, Beverly Hills Edition panel. And I am sure that YB will have a lot to say about this episode. So y'all, I'll definitely post it on my community wall, and I will see y'all tomorrow. What ma'am say, giving Dorit call her cell phone so she could call the police is crazy. Right. Like, that just don't even make sense. And again, you know, people can say what they want to say. It doesn't make sense. And in my mind, when shit don't make sense, it ain't true. That's how I feel about it. When shit don't make sense, it just ain't true. That's how I feel. But all right, y'all. I'm about to be out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace.